Hello, this is going to be a short one. I got some information about lightfastness and markers, alcohol markers, so I thought that I just want to briefly share those findings with you in case you find it as valuable info, because there's not much about it on YouTube as far as I can see. Anyway, just to talk about the spread that I was working on, it's yeah, in the light of what's going on at Afghanistan at the moment, just brought back a lot of memories of the year 1993. You see, I worked for the Navy, and in 1993 we closed down the naval base of Copenhagen, and in 94 we were a staff of civilian hired people working in the newly transformed Marine station. So in 1994, all military training and the docking of ships, everything was just have just left, and the processing of what happened in Mogadishu was still ongoing. It took like several months after the horrible 3rd of October. So it just brings back, you ponder about things in life, because to me, in my life, it seems like eons ago, and to know that the conflict is still ongoing in the same violent tempo is just, I can't grasp it. But anyway, I had to get it out of my system, so one of my favorite movies, Black Hawk Down, because it really stays true to kind of like a documentary. Ridley Scott did an awesome job portraying the actual heroes that died on that mission. I just had to art it out, so that's what's going on this page. I started out with alcohol markers and did the Black Hawk in alcohol markers, and some of the background is built up with gray tones of the alcohol markers, and then I had to go on top of it with other layers of mixed media to get that fog from the burning car tires, and But the essence of why I'm doing this stream, I was working on this helicopter, right? And then I took my markers, I store them in my room on a shelf, like back in the room. There is no light from my windows that are shining directly on that shelf, and it's quite a tall shelf, so they're put in a shelf like this, so you could kind of say that this top layer is kind of covered by the next shelf. And then I open it up, and then inside I got the swatch card. While I was working with that helicopter, I noticed what is wrong with my swatch card, and now I want to show you a fresh swatch. And I am kind of surprised how much these markers has faded just on the swatch card. And remind that it's not been in direct sunlight. Just doing this summer, there is a heck of a lot difference. So I'm looking at this faded swatch card thinking, will it even fade more? Or is that like what it's fading down to, and now it will not move anymore? But I'm looking at it, and almost the first whole row is faded out. You can't even tell any difference in any of the shades up here from this first row. The second row, consisting of all the red tones, they are completely pushed back to like nothing. Look at this 84. This is turned totally yellow. So like with watercolor and the pigment that they make opera rose with, it behaves similarly, like it turns yellow instead of pink when it's exposed to extreme sunlight. And the yellow row just turned to this, and now comes the rows that I really think are like remarkable different. This is the brown row where the mint turned blue, and now comes the green row where it seems like some sort of viridian is just holding up what's left of the hues. But what's interesting to see is down here on the brown shades, the earth tones and the gray tones. It's these two rows here and these two rows here. Can you see how all the browns transformed themselves into warm gray tones? And down here where I got some swatches of cool gray, they kind of stayed in the cool gray family, but all the warm grays got transformed into cool gray tones when exposed to sunlight. So look at the black. I mean, I'm just surprised what they transitioned into when they faded down. And it makes me ponder that if you really produce a lot of artwork using alcohol markers, and you would like to hang something on your wall but are refraining from it because you know that sun will destroy your artwork, and in my case my markers over just one single summer has been pushed back from this colorful expression here to this totally faded. I'm thinking that if you look at these swatches, you can kind of see that it could be fun to create an art piece that are meant to be faded down, which means that you can enjoy the first couple of months where it has like the true colors from the marker, but then knowing that during the year it will transform into something else. Because then I just wanted to tell out there that in my case, with my selection of markers, if I use brown tones, they will transition into warm gray. So I could picture that I could do some sort of shading with brown tones, and then knowing that the shade will, like in the French grisaille, turn into warm gray tones. And then I could pick some of the green hues as the top coat, because the greens are somehow staying green. Not all the blues are staying blue. Imagine that you use this blue right here. It's faded down to almost nothing, like white. I'm not throwing out marker names of the colors because I got this inexpensive set. It's not something special. It's from the supermarket, and it's called Twin Markers, and I think maybe it's like a supermarket knockoff brand of something already existing. So it's like a big supermarket chain here in Denmark. So I think that they might have taken some existing markers, like Uhu markers or something, and then asked them to produce their style of markers to launch in their chain of stores. But I am really surprised the shift that took on just in this summer, and I think it's intriguing. I'm not disappointed. I knew that colored pencils and alcohol markers were not light fast, but I never have experienced how much they are losing in their colors. So now it's intriguing for me to try and create a drawing where I know that the end result will be like this, but I will at least have a strong drawing the first couple of months where they got the true values. So yeah, I just wanted to share this on YouTube because I actually searched for Lightfastness, because I was wondering, I was just thinking, oh my god, is it like a generic thing among cheap markers? And then if I had the really expensive Copic markers, would they be like less light fast? but I couldn't find anything on Lightfastness on alcohol-based markers, not much. So that's why I am sharing this with you guys. But thanks for watching. Bye bye.